As news broke this morning about Matt Lauer, Donald Trump lost his mind and started tweeting about Matt Lauer, but also about other members of the media that he would like to see fired. Not just the actual people on TV, but the executives as well at some of these channels that he doesn't like because they have the gall to criticize the president of the United States. And then he went even farther than that, going from wanting people in the media to be fired to potentially being put in prison. Not for criticizing him specifically, but for murder. So he tweeted this. So now that Matt Lauer is gone, when will the fake news practitioners at NBC be terminating the contract of Phil Griffin? Which, that's enough for one tweet, but he goes on. And will they terminate low ratings Joe Scarborough based on the unsolved mystery that took place in Florida years ago? Investigate. They don't need to investigate because people already investigated about that unsolved murder. So this is the conspiracy theory that the right wing seems to have about Joe Scarborough, that he murdered one of his interns in Florida years ago. He's referencing Laura Clausidis, a 28-year-old office staffer who worked for Scarborough when he was a representative from Florida. Clausidis was found dead in the congressman's district office in July 2001. At the time, a local medical examiner investigated, ruled the death an accident, saying Clausidis had collapsed and hit her head on the side of a desk. She had an undiagnosed heart condition, according to the medical examiner, and the head trauma caused a fatal blood clot.
Or they would have you believe that. In reality, she died on the set of the moon landing that didn't happen.
Exactly. It's already a tragedy that she died at all in this circumstance or otherwise, but that's not good enough for them.
So there's a bunch of twists in this story. Number one, the Republicans used to go apoplectic if you mentioned Scarborough's intern. And I never did because the medical examiner said she died of the blood clot, okay? And so there's a million things to criticize Scarborough on. That isn't one of them. But the right wing would defend him. Now the dear leader has said that we will now attack Scarborough. So the right wing now comes, oh yeah, that intern, of course he murdered, of course. Yeah, unsolved mystery, right? So and now they're attacking Joe Scarborough's brother, who's apparently a giant Trump fan.
Yeah,
George Scarborough, who nobody had, of course, heard of
about him.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, but I know my brother didn't murder the intern, so.
Yeah.
Oh, now it affects you. So now that it finally affects you, I mean, he'd been bashing your brother all along, but now that he's basically called your brother a murderer, you're finally like, oh.
Yeah. And he's okay with them on the policy
far.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny, that is exactly what JR thought your position would be.
Yeah.
And it's totally true.
Oh, wait, this one affects me. When he hated Muslims, I loved it. When he hated Latinos, I loved it. When he hated black people, I loved it. Oh, you're calling my brother a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh, just a slight bridge too far.
There's too many conspiracies. People are getting things confused and mixed up. Joe Scarborough didn't kill his intern. Ted Cruz's father killed Joe Scarborough's intern. Obviously, Joe Scarborough has an alibi. He was busy killing Seth Rich. How do people confuse all of these things?
No, look,
I'm joking about things that are tragedies, I understand that, but it's because people have lost their goddamn minds. Sometimes people die and it's just a tragedy. It's not a conspiracy.
No, look, Donald Trump's a lunatic. He thinks Ted Cruz is horrible politician. I can't stand Ted Cruz. But he thinks that Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK. You have to be absolutely insane to believe that. Only a lunatic would believe that. And so millions upon millions of Americans voted for a lunatic who belongs in an insane asylum.
And he didn't say it. He didn't say these crazy things after. And he didn't just say it during the election. He has been peddling conspiracy theories for literally years. But we as a country have never been good at telling truth from falsehoods. And we're getting way worse at it. Way worse because of the ways we self-select into media and the fact that we down on education constantly, the way we defund it. But this is on top of the Joe Scarborough stuff. In addition to that, recently, I just read this today, Maggie Haberman, we referred to one of these recently. Maggie Haberman and Jonathan Martin of the New York Times report that they've spoken with people who have spoken with the president recently. And recently, he has multiple times regularly asserted that Obama's birth certificate is fake. Not in 2013, he's doing that now.
No, the guy's lost his mind.
He won the popular vote. And that the Access Hollywood tape that he apologized for is fake. It was doctored. It didn't actually happen.
No, he has a mental condition, man. One, he's preposterously dumb. Two, he's a lunatic. Three, he's a pathological liar. He cannot help himself. So this is the same guy that Scarborough that he was in love with before. Oh, Scarborough, oh yeah, you're tremendous, you're awesome. And then Scarborough turns up, you're terrible, you're a murderer, blah, blah, blah. And look, and in this topsy-turvy world, he gets me to defend guys I can't stand. Like Ted Cruz's father, who thinks that Jesus picked Ted Cruz to lead the country. Then who picked Trump? Anyway, so okay.
I got an idea.
Yeah, all right. And then Scarborough, I can't stand Scarborough, but between Scarborough and the lunatic, okay, I'm going Scarborough.
Yeah.
Hey, lesser of two evils. Okay, for Christ's sake. Anyway, and then Phil Griffin. Phil Griffin and I don't get along. That's, I think, fairly, for the people who know it, common knowledge because of how I left MSNBC. But why is he blaming Phil Griffin for Matt Lauer? Matt Lauer's at NBC, Phil Griffin runs MSNBC. Matt Lauer doesn't work for Phil Griffin. Those things are not remotely connected.
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't like MSNBC. Phil Griffin's the problem. Why don't we? And then you're talking about investigating Scarborough. What is this fascist gonna do? I mean, he asked the Justice Department.
He has the power to investigate people.
Yeah, he asked the Justice Department to interfere and do a political investigation of Hillary Clinton, and they are now considering it. Are they going to consider an investigation of Joe Scarborough next? Because now we're doing political investigations. So this is how fascism begins.
You investigate your political opponents and you investigate those in the media. You pack the courts on the side as well. That's also going on. But like, as much as this is conspiracy theories, this is a multi-tweet, and it's not the only time he's done it, but it's the latest attack against people in the media who criticize him. And potentially with governmental consequences. He can actually do something about Joe Scarborough if he wants to, but he regularly attacks those who have the gall to criticize him. Even light criticisms. It's not like Joe Scarborough is like John Olivering him on a regular basis. Look, he just doesn't support him anymore, and that makes him a murderer.
Look, guys, so there's plenty of reasons to impeach him already, but the open question, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on that. But if he goes to pardon anyone that is part of the investigation of him, so pardoning Mike Flynn, pardoning Manafort, any of those guys, he should be immediately impeached. If he imprisons any of his political opponents, he should be immediately impeached. And if he imprisons anyone in the media who he perceives to be an opponent, he should be immediately impeached. Because if you don't immediately impeach him, you then say it's okay.
It's okay.
And then Katie bar the door, because that means he can imprison anyone he doesn't like. And then we've lost our democracy completely. So as insane as these tweets are against Scarborough, it is a very, very serious matter. We cannot let this go any further. If you like this video, bless your heart. We got a lot more where that came from. We do a full show every day, Monday through Friday. Come enjoy it ad-free by becoming a member, tytnetwork.com/join.